Well, this is what confuses me. It must be the temperature of the batteries, because they're 49 degrees. They've dropped down to 12.4 volts after the sun went down. And all I'm using is a small, I think, 1 or 2 watts of LEDs. That's that LED light that I never finished mounting before I left. That was 1 or 2 watts of LEDs, and that's it. That's the only power I'm using in this place. The batteries are down to 12.4, so it's got to be the temperature. I remember before I left I was having issues with that, and so these this battery bank, I don't know, that was happening before, and the batteries are brand new, so it's got to be the cold temperature causing them to have less voltage overall. So it doesn't give me much to use anyway. Well, see the smile? She's happy. She's home in bed again. She was purring earlier. She really missed her home. She's been up on the bed since we got here. She was purring away, just as happy as anything. First time I've heard her purr in 3 months. She's happy. She missed her home. Well, I used my propane heat last night on low, and the advantage is that it was, what was it, around 50 something yesterday outside. So the RV was in full sunlight as well, so it wasn't too cold last night, and it didn't take too much to heat this RV up. Now I've got, let me refocus. I've got 72 in and 37, 38 out with just the propane, and the humidity is only 45% in, so that's not bad at all. It's raining, so it's gonna be a sloppy day to work. I gotta get that car out of the mud today. Well, my first off-grid coffee since I've been gone. Got just heat up water on the stove, and I got this single cup coffee brewer, which you guys have probably seen. Just pour water through it. It makes a nice cup of coffee. Of course, my coffee grounds are ancient. They're not going to taste very good after sitting in the winter for 3 months, but I have a container that I already opened, and me not being a wasteful type, I'm going to use them. Well, anyway, I actually bought a couple jugs of water yesterday to get me through until I get a system back up in place here, because there's too much snow in the meadow to walk up to the house to go to the landlady and back. And I got groceries. I'm going to eat healthy foods if I can afford it until I get my own garden going, which is another part of the reason I came here early. I wanted to, you can see the snow out there. I wanted to get home and get my seeds started and get some cold hardy vegetables growing in some, what do you call it, cool boxes or whatever, and start getting some spinach and some salad growing and some herbs. Start eating healthier and start eating my own homegrown foods. All my coffee today will be without sugar. There's mouse poop and pee in my sugar. So, I guess I won't have any sugar in my coffee. It's a bummer. It's a mess. Getting a late start today. I slept in till 9:45, and it's now 1:45. I've been on the internet all day, working on videos and comments and fighting with my cell phone provider. They started charging me for a phone that I used to talk to for free, so I had to fix that. But anyway, I'm going out to get my car out. I'm just looking at this mess. It's melting, and it's been raining. so that makes it really soupy here. There's no way my car would drive in here at all. No way. The good old truck did the job. Poor old truck. So I'm gonna take the long walk up to the house and go see about getting my car out of the mess. Well, that's a thick layer of leaves in there. As I expected, it's melting down where I drove, so that's a good thing. You can see that's pretty deep. It's already diminished overnight. That rain is helping it melt. That's a good thing. It's also making it a river out here. Well, I slept well last night, cozy and comfy. I had the propane heater on because my wood is buried under snow. Still have to figure out how I'm going to take care of that problem. I guess I'll dig it out and try to bring it up on the porch for now, but I'll have to find my tarps somewhere out there. Are my tarps. So I'll have to find my tarps and then rig up a shelter for the firewood. Let's try to start drying some of that out, because tonight's going to be in the teens. With propane that's bearable, but tomorrow is going to be down to 6 degrees, and that won't be nice. I don't know if you can see the amount of water here. It doesn't really show in the camera well enough. I'm going to walk through the snow instead of right through that hole. Look at that hole. That's what my truck was driving through yesterday. Quite a hole. This truck is pretty good. It's a nice tool. Thank you guys for advising me against getting rid of it last year. That'd have been hurting today. And I'd still be carrying stuff by hand. The deer, there's deer tracks. The deer are walking in the trail my truck made. Convenient for them. Well, I'm going to head up to the house. It's about a quarter-mile walk. I'm going to head up to the house, and my landlady says there's somebody there that might help tow my car out. So let's see what we can do here. I had to show you this. I sure hope this shows up on camera. Can you see how deep that is? There's flowing water where I was driving yesterday. That is deep. Definitely four-wheel drive only here. Well, the car is out on dry ground. See, the problem here is there's a river flowing through the driveway. There's a road up the hill here, and it's flowing like a river through our drive. And I've talked to people who said they've never seen this get as sloppy ever before as it is right now. But here's where the car was, and you can see I was pretty much scraping bottom on that car. And what we did, I went and got a tow rope, which I need anyway for living out here. It's not very pretty now. I'll have to take it down to the creek and rinse it. But there's my brand new tow rope, and we wrapped it around around one of the back tires, because I couldn't get underneath the car to get to the cross member. So we looped it through the rim of the tire and then hooked it onto a four-wheel drive truck. And with that and the car's power itself, we got it to slide out of the mud. I wish I had recorded it, but honestly I was so worried about getting the car out, I totally forgot that I have a camera and that I have a job to do. But anyway, we just literally slid it out until I got a firm grip with the front wheels, and the car drove itself out. Which impresses me, because I drove under its own power from here all the way on out to here. But you can see my tire tracks. And this is why we have a problem. We have more snow this year at this time of year than we've ever had before. Like they said, it's the worst snow in 20 years. And nobody could have foreseen this. So, anyway, there's my new parking spot. Well, it's melting and melting, but today it's been raining periodically. Michigan has snow so bad that my dad actually had to quit work early. He delivers propane. He had to quit because there's no visibility and the roads are getting bad. So that's what's coming my way. I usually get what they have the day after. And here's another view of that swamp that I had to drive through. It's quite a mess. My feet have been soaked and frozen numb for 2 days. It's funny. I come from the land of warmth to the land of cold. I can't feel my toes. There's nothing I can do because I'm walking through this slop. But that's life in the north. You deal with it. So anyway, tonight's supposed to freeze again. And tomorrow we're supposed to get the snowstorm that Michigan has today. Fun. It's going to be interesting. Definitely I'm anxious to see what we get. Life is not going to be boring out here this year. Oh yeah, it reduced quite a bit in height here overnight. Melted quite a bit. Now it's just all soup is a problem. Well, it's 3:30 or something like that, and I still haven't had breakfast today. But the car is out, so that's a good thing. So now I can move on to other projects. Well, just got back to the RV. It's raining again. It's funny that where the truck was is dry. Well, the truck is black, and it caused this heated zone here and kept it from getting too bad. Same with the old camper, the Christian camper I have there. It's a dry zone. My electric fence is demolished. Some of it we cut to get through. Some of it fell apart on its own. Somehow some water got into my big tank, which means I have a little bit if I need it. I got this twisted wreck of a rainwater collection to clean up though. But well, a lot to do. Hear that how the camper formed its own cleared off zone here. This one seems to have fared well. A lot of snow around it. Good foot of snow out here still. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to get any maple syrup done now. I get my wood pile dried up. It's going to be cold tomorrow, so I have to figure out how to do this. I'm open to suggestions there, guys. I'm not sure. I don't have any dry, warm place to put anything anymore with the porch being wrecked. And with the wood being exposed all winter, I'm sure it's really absorbed a lot of moisture. And especially with the melting going on now. So I honestly don't think I can burn any of this right now. But yeah, I'm open to your advice on that one there. I haven't been in the camper. The old camper, the water's not pouring out as bad as it was. See how it looks in here. It's crowded. Chris has got his stuff stored inside the door. He's got all kinds of junk in here. Smells like mothballs. Again, I put a lot of junk in here. There's stuff piled over. There's rice piled up over here. There's mothballs everywhere. Those white specks. I can hear rain coming in. Threw my fridge in here, put some books in here. I just real quick packed up and left. Put everything indoors. Oh, here we go. Can you see that? That's a bad thing. That's where the chimney used to be. The roof has been sagged down by the weight of the snow, which caused a low point right where the chimney was and opened up the seams. And now I have a mess. The floor is sopping wet all the way across. There's water everywhere in here. Oh, there's water in the bucket. I don't know how I don't know. I have no idea what might have happened in here, but there's water everywhere. The insulation is wet here, holding water. Everything's, oh, look at this. Oh, there's water. It's a mess. Yeah, this camper has served its purpose, and I think it's done now. Time to make this into a tiny home. Because I do not want to rebuild this again. It's too much. Way too much to do it again. All I can do is damage control now and clean up the mess. So there's that, and I'll show you something else I found inside the RV here in a minute. One more thing I forgot to mention. The batteries are empty. The batteries for my camper here are drained out dry. I thought I had disconnected that. I knew I had it off. Yes, the inverter is off. But why is there no power? Oh, it is working. Maybe there's my digital voltmeter quit on here. I had, yeah. Huh. It's on. Oh, maybe it's just too cold. I got no display here anymore. Maybe that quit. It might have frozen. Well, watch when I disconnect the battery cable here. See, the light comes on, so it must be working. Let's see if the inverter can kick in. I'll have to get a voltmeter. Hook that back up. No. No. Wait a minute, is that connected? Yeah. Nope, then the batteries have drained. It's not got enough to power the charger. Yeah, I'll have to check that out later. So the camper's power is dead. The old camper power is dead. I'll have to figure that out. Well, I decided to make this a top priority right now because it is raining badly, and what happened, look at the ceiling collapsed. The framing collapsed and broke down under the weight of the snow. And what I just did, see that? It had been completely collapsed. And I just propped it up with a board. Look at the water on the ground. There's actually ice down here. That's ice. There's been a leak in a while. So that ceiling came down. Now I've stopped the leaking by raising that up. By raising that beam, it stopped the leaking. I'll have to get another board and raise this beam up, at least till the winter's done, and that'll protect this old camper from any worse damage. That'll eventually dry out. Obviously it's going to be worse. The floor will be damaged worse than it was before from leaking, but the only reason I wanted to save it is because I've got all my storage in here. I've got my workshops, I've got all my kitchen stuff, all the cabinets. I still got food and stuff in there, all my spices and herbs, and I wasn't done moving out, so I need to somewhat protect this. There's all my kitchen. I don't have much of anything yet in the RV because I left soon after I started fixing this up, or fixing the RV, or just didn't get moved in. Still got food in here. So, speaking of which, I had canned foods on the floor down here. They did not burst. How amazing is that? Can you see that? There's a jar of pickles I made. They didn't burst. although they're bubbling, I think they're fermenting. They may have burst. They may have broken the seal. I don't know if that's just from me picking it up just now. There's bubbles on the top. No, it's not. I thought it was fermenting. It's just from me touching it right now. Interesting. I can't believe that didn't burst. No, it's fermenting. There's bubbles in there. Yeah, sad. But it didn't break. I can't believe it didn't break. I wonder if that's still edible fermented. Interesting. But the seal is still... It's still sealed. I'll have to check that out. I had some mixed vegetables in here. And they too have some bubbles on top. But that could also be just from the settling. From when I put it in there too. I'll open one up one day and smell it and test it and see what happens. But the seals are still there. I really thought they would burst. There's another one. Wet. What a mess. There's a lot of slop inside the RV now, or in the camper, the old camper. Oh, check these out. They're still sealed. I know I said that again and again and again, but I'm surprised. I just thought they would exploded from the freeze. So that's a good thing to learn. But anyway, I think I had that cleaned out, I hope. Yeah, just condiments. Nothing but condiments in there, which will all have to be cleaned out, I'm sure. So I got clothing in here still, and mostly not there. Got all my bedding in here, some jeans. So that's why I got to protect this until I'm done moving out. Got my electronics workshop. It's a mess. I was running literally back and forth when I left, throwing things in, getting everything out from outdoors, taking down the solar panels, putting the food away. So it's time to clean up and get back to life again. It's not pretty out. Raining pretty good. I gotta get a shovel out here and start cleaning. I did some work here yesterday by the truck where I walk. Not that that really does much good with rivers and lakes in the drive. It's all wet. It's building up. Some of my feet have been soaked. Best I can do is go in and take my socks off to warm up my feet when I'm inside. But the porch is doing its job. There's some leaking here where it's separated. I can't see my own camera view because it's covered in rain, but there's some leaking here. It's running down the walls here and there where it's separated. But, you know, it did separate. That's to be expected. But it's not getting onto the porch floor or into my wood. My old chair is still good. Everything's dry, so it didn't hurt anything. So that's good. The roof held up. The framing held up. And it's keeping the water off the inside of the porch. Everything's good. Everything's dry here. The ledge is dry. So, well, it worked. Here's something else I could use some advice on. I'm not sure what shifted. See, when I try to open the door, I say try because watch. This hits. So, it would appear that the framing is shifted this way some. I'm not sure if the porch or the RV shifted because when I do pry this open, see, when I get that open, I'm hitting on the floor here as well, which is a problem. I'll pull this piece off. I can't open the door now either. So, I'm not sure what shifted exactly. And I gotta figure out how to fix this so I can start using my RV again. Now here is a problem when you're off the grid. off-grid refrigeration, I have here fresh fruits, some bread, and I'm making for some submarine sandwiches. The problem is, off-grid refrigeration is, the reverse issue is something you have to worry about here. I have to worry about freezing my vegetables and foods. Somehow, when I'm off the grid in the winter, it's not a problem keeping my foods cold. It's a problem keeping my foods from freezing. Right now I don't have any refrigeration going at all. I don't need to, because that's why. But it's supposed to get down below freezing temperatures tonight, which will ruin stuff like this. These are fine out here without going in the fridge or whatever. They're fine at room temperature for now inside the RV. Right now it's 50 degrees. I had the heater off while I was messing with the car. It's 50 degrees inside and 39 out. But my meats and cheese, and I've got some eggs, those I can actually toss out in the snow as well. Won't be an issue. Fresh stuff like lettuce, and I have some cabbage as well, and some what do I have? Some broccoli. That's a problem. So I don't want it room temperature, but I don't want it to freeze or it'll go bad. So I'm actually going to be putting this stuff in a insulated cooler to keep it from freezing at night. It's sort of funny. It's a completely opposite situation in winter. Do you see something wrong with this picture? My brand new faucet. This is how I found it. So I'm guessing that because there's a little bit of water in that little hole right here, I can only guess it must have frozen and popped this off. Which amazes me, because the water should have been able to expand up in there, even if there was water in that hole. So draining the lines did not drain the sink. Just that little bit of water caught in there. It's not even a half-inch deep, tiny little pocket of water was trapped. And I'm guessing that's what happened here, is it broke my faucet, my brand new faucet. So I get to do my plumbing over again, at least as far as that goes, and I want to examine everything before I plumb up, before I put water in my lines again and pressure it up. But I won't be doing that anytime soon anyway, because right now I just can't reliably heat the RV. Anytime I leave, it can still freeze, so I won't have any running water for a while. Hopefully next year, with my oil burner that I'm going to make, I'll be able to dial up the temperature and set it and forget it. But obviously that's not here now. So far that's the only damage I've found inside the old RV. Well, I'm using the minimal bit of light I've got from opening one window. What I do is bring my blankets up and wrap it over the curtain rod. I am not using LEDs or any powered lighting. I'm saving everything for the computer. I'm sitting at 12.4 volts right now, which is not exactly good. The batteries are dropping in temperature. They're down to 48 degrees Fahrenheit now. And I'm only pulling in 3 watts from the solar panels. So it's not really a lot of usable energy at this time. I'm not looking good, but of course I've been gone 3 months. Of course the batteries are in a deep freeze from being left here in the winter. And of course I only had a trickle charge going on with the solar panels. So hopefully this rain is going to melt off the snow outside. Under the trees there's not much, but out in the middle of the meadow it's a foot deep. So hopefully this is going to melt it down enough so I can go dig out my wires and get my solar panels hooked up. That is going to help me greatly, and then I won't have to sit here in the dark at night. So this is something else for y'all to consider. Anybody thinking about going off the grid, if you ever leave for a while, you're going to have some work to do to set your home back up and get back in shape. So this is good experience. Good first-hand experience and learning here. Hi, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. I'm back in New York, back to the RV, back to the Homestead. It's cold, snowy, winter wonderland. And right now it's freezing rain coming down. It's 39 outside. That's going to turn to freezing soon enough. Temperature's supposed to drop down to around, I think, 20 tonight or something like that. And then tomorrow the high is going to be 20, and tomorrow night it's going to be 6 at night. So it's going to be pretty cold. We're not out of the winter yet, as if you've seen outside with all my adventures already. Got the car out today, that's nice. And I spent the majority of my time after that so far putting my home back together, unpacking. I've got all my bags unpacked, which is good, and got everything put away, but I still have to unpack all the stuff. I'd taken down all the food out of the cupboards, I put everything in plastic containers, I packed all my bedding, and I packed all my clothing, and I wrapped everything up to make it mouse proof, which turned out to be unnecessary, but better safe than sorry. I would rather have packed everything and not needed it than to not have packed everything and end up losing it all like I have had in the past. So I'm happy how things went and how things turned out over here. Really mad at myself for not recording pulling the car out. I bought this tow band, what do you call it? A flat towing cable, and wrapped it around through the spoke of the wheel, through the actual rim of the wheel itself of my car. And then a neighbor had a four-wheel drive Jeep which helped me pull the car out, and surprisingly the car was able to back out pretty well under its own power once we got it going. But the driveway is useless now. There's no more. We have to get the driveway repaired because the weather this year has destroyed it. Guy upstairs, Chris, who I work with all the time, he said he's lived here, I think, 9 years, and he's never seen this. Never seen that happen to the driveway. Nobody's ever got stuck in the drive. So it's really weird. Can't change it now, but we're definitely not going to be using it until we repair it. So probably looking at getting some free fill with my truck and then using the dump function to get it filled in there. Anyway, that's it for today. Just a lot of literally mucking around in the muck, the slop, and everything. Went through 2 pairs of socks already, just because I'm literally walking through water. I think I'm going to make a trip to Tractor Supply. If this is how it's going to be, I think when I go out to church tonight, and I leave in 2 hours. Yeah, I leave in an hour and a quarter, hour and a half I leave. I think I'll go to Tractor Supply and get myself some of those rubber boots and use them to walk around in from now on, because this is just a mess. It's too messy. So it's exciting to be back. It's actually, I would have been, might sound funny, but I would have been disappointed to come back and find green grass everywhere and dry ground everywhere and everything perfect and happy and easy, and I just sat down in my RV and had life as normal. Well, that would have been a bit boring. And I hope to get my maple season going. I'll have to go and get some supplies for that. See how things go. But anyway, that's it. I'm home. The off-grid project is back in action, and I hope that we're going to have a great year together. So, see you tomorrow.